Hey, I just want to say thank you to all the fans for coming out tonight and supporting our team. It's a little bit different than the normal event because normally we're playing in a game. We're not stopping the play. We're just getting up and down, and officials are out there. And this is an actual practice, and I think it was great for our fans to get a behind-the-scenes look at how we practice. The number one component for us in practice is competing forever, and I thought our guys did a great job of doing that today. Our goal, it's October 18th. Our goal, we're at our early stages to go after building championship habits as much as anyone in the country, and then to be our best version of us when it matters most in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, there's a ton of basketball to play between now and then, and really we're focused on one day at a time, improving over the course of the preseason. These guys, excited to have them getting better and better. This is their first time in front of the media, so we'll see how they do.
Shaka, last year picked ninth in the Big East. Y'all kind of used that as motivation all year. When you're fifth in the country to start the season, what do you do? How do you motivate these guys to make sure they still have that chip on their shoulder that was so effective last year?
Well, I think number one, having a chip on your shoulder, if you look at the people that embody that statement the most, they're able to be that way regardless of what other people say. I think a lot of folks, think it's based on a reaction to others, but some people come out of the womb that way for whatever reason, with a chip on their shoulder, and we try to recruit those type of guys. We try to bring in guys that have something to prove. Both these guys sitting to my right were under-recruited. Both of them were undervalued by maybe other schools, those recruiting rankings, whatever that means. But we valued them, which is part of why they're here. And we have a team full of guys like that. So it really doesn't matter to us what we're picked. Our motivation comes from within, from the standpoint of the way we feel about one another and trying to come together to do something special for each other.
For both Trey and Zaide, both of you guys were sent the culture doc of the program that Shaka made. What was your reaction when you guys opened it up? What stuff stuck out to you within that doc?
When we first got it, it was unique. We had me, Al, and Zaide had a freshman orientation. Like one of the first days we got here, we went to Sweet Diner, and Coach Shaka took us through the culture doc and just kind of broke it down each step, and it was unique because coming from high school, you don't worry about things like that and things about that have to do with culture and relationships and growth and things of that nature. So it was unique, but I felt it as soon as we got here, and I would say just the relationship aspect of just our culture is probably one of the biggest things that we emphasize here, and being here from day one, you can feel that relationship. And now that I'm here for a couple months, I feel like I've been here for years. So,
yeah, I agree. I agree with Trey. When I first opened it, my honest reaction was wow, it's super different. It was a lot at first, but as we kept reading it, it made sense to me. We got this thing called 3-minute talk at each end of practice, and I had the 3-minute talk yesterday, and mine was Ubuntu, and that's the theme of the week right now, which means we don't do things everything's not done by one individual. We need everybody to accomplish what we need to do, and yeah, I think that's just a big part of our team this year, and that's what we're working on right now.
Great competitive practice today. Even the chippy stuff, great to see. With the new players and the new freshmen coming on, but we've also got so many returning players. How does the experience and team chemistry factor into the success of the season coming off the conference title?
Well, the chemistry and the relationships that we have on our team are going to be paramount in determining the success that we have this year. And this is something that we work on developing every single day. going back to late May when these guys arrived. Tomorrow we're heading off on our team retreat that we take every year over fall break. We'll be gone for a few days. We'll spend a lot of time together, and we will practice, but it'll also be mostly about building those relationships and building a common understanding even beyond what we have right now around what goes into winning. The way that we try to do things is if Zaide really cares about Trey and he pours into Trey and demands more out of Trey and supports Trey, then Trey's going to be better, and then vice versa. And if we have that, then every guy on our team can be a force multiplier. If we've got a bunch of force multipliers on our team, we're going to have a really successful team. And I think that's what you saw from our group last year, but that doesn't guarantee anything for this year. We still have to come back together and come to a shared understanding of what it takes.
For Trey and Zaide again, you guys talked about how you can feel it in the program. Trey, you said you feel like you've been here for years. How do you see the stuff emphasized in that culture doc come to life every day in practice and in shoot around, stuff like that?
The older guys do a really good job of emphasizing that, even when the coaches aren't around, and I feel like that's a big upside to our team, because a lot of teams, do things the right way when the coaches are around or when the head coach or when the media is around, but like it could just be the guys in the locker room or playing pickup, and we're going to do the exact same thing we would do in practice and work the exact same way that we would do in practice. In that pickup game, that means nothing. So I feel like the older guys really do a great job of just emphasizing that and making sure that the younger guys coming in know that it's our way and there's no other way around it. And as younger guys, we're doing a great job just receiving that information and building into that culture that's already set here. So.
Yeah, again, what he said was the older guys do a real good job of it, but like when we first got here, it was just us, me, Trey, and Al, and we didn't really know what to do. But as the older guys came back, we started to pick up like the things that they were doing and how like the way that we do stuff. So I think it's been a big part of helping us while we've been here. The coaching staff, they've been doing a good job with that too. So.
For Shaka, I'm just wondering, based on your head coaching experience, what are the biggest challenges? Obviously, when you return virtually your entire nucleus, it probably beats the alternative. But what are the challenges inherent when you take over, when you have a team that returns almost intact like this, to make sure?
I think one of the challenges is assumptions, making assumptions that something's going to be the same as it was last year. I mean, let's be honest. When you're in college and you've taken an extra lap around the sun, you should be a dramatically different person before you even talk about basketball. And then you should be a much improved player if you've been in the gym. And our guys, to a man, have been in the gym. And so individually, every one of our returning players has gotten better. Our three incoming guys, they come in as equipped to play as any group that we've brought in. But they're coming in a challenging time because they're competing against a bunch of guys that have the experience under their belt that our guys have. So I think it's important for us to start from scratch from the standpoint of building our habits, and that's championship habits culturally, defensively, offensively, and not assuming because we did certain things last year that's just going to carry it over. We obviously have that experience. It's something we want to use, but we've got to build these habits brick by brick.
This question could go to all three of you, but starting with Coach, after tonight's practice, 19 days away from the first game, where do you feel like this team is at and maybe what you guys want to accomplish before that first game?
Well, we've made some progress. We still have a lot of improvement to make in a lot of areas. We're trying to, as I just mentioned, build championship habits culturally. So that's the way we act, interact, and respond. An example of that would be we still got some growth to make on when we get fatigued, how we carry ourselves, our body language, the way we communicate with one another. I thought the guys did a good job battling and fighting through fatigue today, but we still have got some growth to make. And then defensively, a lot of different habits, especially for these new guys, learning some of the concepts through which we play. And then offensively, there's a lot of different things that we do. It's an intricate system, but it's also a system where they're allowed to go play and make plays for each other. So those championship habits that we want to stack and create over the next 19 days are critical. Even with that being said, on November 6th, we're not going to be a finished product. We want to continue to grow and improve from game 1 to game 2. And I think one thing that you'll see from these guys and from all of our players is continued growth throughout the season because they stay in the gym and they really are committed to their own progress in different parts of their game. And that's exciting because if these two guys can be different players on January 6th compared to where they were on November 6th, that makes our team better.
Like Coach said, we got a lot to work on, but again, we are all improving, and I think that's just a big part of like what goes on. Like 19 days away from our first game, might be a little nervous, but you know, we go out there. If we go out there and play our hardest and do what we got to do, I think we'll be all right. And like if I got Al, Trey, Caden, and the rest of my teammates, you know, like they're going through the same thing I'm going to. So if I need help, I'm gonna go to the older guys or go to one of them, and I know they got my back.
My opinion, I feel like we're one of the top teams in the country, and I feel like when we're our best selves, that's going to be displayed in every game. Obviously, it's not possible, you know, to always be mentally there every day because, you know, it's just life. Like Coach says, it's human nature to always have the up and downs in life. But we have our personal circles and our team circles, and I feel like if we approach every game with a good mindset and get into those individual circles and team circles, we can compete with anybody in the country. And I feel like with this team and the relationships we have, I feel like there's going to be a lot of games where we're all in that right circle, and it's going to be fun to watch.
For Trey and Zaide again, after the blue and gold scrimmage, when I asked Shaka about the doc, he said it was meaningless unless he and the rest of the coaching staff put it into action. So how have you seen him and the other coaches on the team really put those words into action?
So there's like in the culture doc, there's definitions of each element, and like that, like Ubuntu, like I said, was like nothing's done by one individual, and it's like everything that we do is through each other, and what we got to do to be successful is like we got to stick together with that. And like they do a good job of emphasizing like a bunch of stuff in this culture doc every day, but I think the biggest thing is like they just remind us of, you know, how good we are, and like you said before, it can't be like what we did last year. We can't automatically assume that we're going to do the same thing this year. So, you know, we just got to keep working. And I think, again, they do a good job of just making sure everything that's in the culture doc comes to life. And that's how you see intense practices.
Yeah, the coaching staff is amazing. It's not only Coach Shaka emphasizing the culture doc, it's every last coaching staff, everybody behind the cameras, the people behind the desk, it's everybody. Like, everybody's on the same page. Everybody emphasizes the same thing. And, like, for example, you know, we talk about emphasize upholding championship habits, and that's just through anything we do, not just on the court, but also off the court. And it could be me and an assistant coach or me and a manager, and they're not going to let me slack on a rep, or they're not going to let me put my head down or get down on myself, because we wouldn't do that if he's around or if we're in the game. So I feel like this team and the coaching staff and everybody in this organization is on the same page, and we know what we need to do to win a championship and be our best selves. So we practice that every day, on and off the court. So.
For Shaka, you talked about how every player should have improved. Anybody who stood out improved most of all so far during this offseason of the returning guys? Or
I mean, all of our guys have made growth on their games. You know, if you asked me that question at the end of the summer, I probably would say, you know, David Joplin and Chase Ross, two guys that have made dramatic improvements since the end of the season. But, you know, since we've started practice, Sean Jones has really made a big jump from where he was last year. Ben Gold, as you know, was out for a while, and now he's back, even though he's not able to practice the whole day. You saw today he kind of got pulled in the last half hour or so. And then our freshmen, really since the day they got here have come leaps and bounds. For them to be able to function and at times thrive in tonight's practice demonstrates real growth for them relative to their first few weeks here when they wouldn't have been able to go through a 2-hour practice like we had today. We try to recruit guys that are winners and then help them, grow into the belief and confidence that they can handle anything that's thrown out at them on the court. Both of these guys won championships in high school. Both of these guys put team winning above any type of individual accolades, and that's why they're here. And you could go down the list of guys on our team, and that's why, it was so important for us to add those guys. But we're really excited about the growth and improvement of every player on our team. I will say this, just because you've gotten better, just because you've taken a big leap as a player, that doesn't guarantee it to be demonstrated in any given game. As Trey said, you got to be in the right headspace, in the circle, as we say, and you need your teammates' help to bring to life all the things that you can do as a basketball player. So that's, as a team, what we're working really hard on, because this past offseason, the growth has been terrific. Now we're trying to put it all together.